Hey, thanks so much for finding the video. Do us a favor. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. Be sure to leave your comment. We love to interact. Enjoy the video. So, you've probably heard that the Big Ten is going to play football this fall. How about that? Let me just remind you kind of how all this played out. So, if you go back, go way back into July, the conference commissioners had a conference call scheduled for a Friday. And the day before, on July the 9th, the Big Ten preemptively decided they were going to go conference only. That really ruffled a lot of feathers, shaked a lot of trees. They were going to be the trailblazer, and everyone was just going to follow suit. And then a month later, the Big Ten announced that we're canceling their fall football season. And they just expected everyone else was going to fall in line. Except that didn't happen. The majority of college football continued to proceed. And the closer it got to kickoff, and ultimately kickoff, everyone involved in the Big Ten, from players like Justin Fields, players' parents like Randy Wade, parent groups at Iowa, Nebraska, schools all over the Big Ten. They formed a protest at the Big Ten office. The President of the United States got involved. Lawmakers all over the country, really. You had Ryan Day last week issue a statement looking at the Big Ten going, hey, where's our leadership? Why is everybody else playing and we're not? How come Central Arkansas can put together a schedule, but The Ohio State can't? Stunning. The pressure mounted, and these cowards caved, because that's what they are. They're cowards. And they did the right thing, by the way, today. It just, they were forced to do so because that's what cowards do. They don't lead. They react. So, the Big Ten's going to play an 8-game schedule. They are going to play eight consecutive weeks, culminating December the 19th. They'll start October 27th, finish December 19th with the Big Ten championship game, and that does put them in line to participate in the college football playoff. First, I am very sincerely happy for these young men that get to play their season. Let me say this first and foremost. Very happy for them. It's not their fault that their league, from university presidents, conference commissioners on down, completely lacked any semblance of unity, uniformity, a unified message and leadership, which ultimately cost them a season. It's not their fault. I'm happy that these young guys who work so hard for the opportunity to play a college sport in which you have a very finite amount of time to do that, I'm very happy they're going to get to play. So let me say that first. I'm happy that these guys that play at Big Ten schools are going to get their season. All right, I'm going to put that in a box, put the lid on the box, put a bow around it. I'm going to put that up on the shelf. Okay. My objective today, and if you follow me on Twitter, you know this to be true. My objective today is to not let any of these snooty Big Ten elitists in the national media or at these universities who fancy themselves as the gatekeepers of higher learning and academia and all that is good and just in the world, where our apartments smell of rich mahogany and we have many leather-bound books and we wear blazers and circular-rimmed glasses and congratulate each other on how smart we are and how much money we raised. I'm not letting any of you off the hook today. And you may look at me and you say, Matt, that's really petty. That is a petty thing. We should all just join hands, move forward with the season, be glad we have it. And that probably is the more mature thing to do, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to point and laugh at every one of you mother duckers today. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to point out your hypocrisy. I'm going to expose you for your flawed arguments and how wrong you have been from jump on this. In particular, the reason I'm going to do that is because in objecting, in contrast to what the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, and much of the Southeast elected to do, you didn't point at medical evidence. You pointed at geography. And for that, I'm going to grab my crotch and flip you the bird right in your face today. And that may not be mature and that may not be the PC thing to do, but damn it, that's what I'm doing on my platform. You want to know why? Because every one of you used your platforms to do the same to me and everyone else who lives down here based on nothing else but geography. Who's the stereotyper? Who's typecasting people? Who's the real bigot? It's you. It's you, Michael Wilbon. Remember this, Michael Wilbon?
You know what I hope somebody on that call said to Nebraska's representatives, even his president? Get the hell out.
Hey, Michael Wilbon, I got news for you, clown. But for Nebraska having the gonads to step up and say, hey, what are we doing? The rest of the world is moving forward and we're going to pull the plug on Big Ten football. But for Nebraska, willing to lead in that direction? Maybe there is no parent group. Maybe there is no Justin Fields petition. Maybe there is no groundswell of support. It took Nebraska to shine a light on how dysfunctional you are. It ain't just you, Michael Wilbon, Northwestern guy. It's Desmond Howard, another Big Ten guy.
If I'm Kevin Warren right now, I'm working on the way to get their ass out of the Big Ten.
Oh, really, Desmond? You want to get Nebraska's ass out the Big Ten? Because guess what, Desmond? Without Nebraska's ass in the Big Ten ain't playing football right now. You'd be sitting up there on game day bemoaning how the beautiful winged helmet, we don't get to see that on Saturdays. Elitist, bro. I ain't done. How about Max Kellerman? Where did he go? Columbia, another Northeast guy. Remember when Max Kellerman said this?
They seem to be very low quality, susceptible to very low quality information and easy to propagandize.
Oh, really? People in the Southeast are susceptible. That man went on Get Up or First Take on the mothership and said an entire region of people are susceptible to low-quality information and easy to propagandize. Guess what, Max Kellerman? A month later, all the people that you were applauding, patting on the back, they're all lined up behind us now, Jackleg. Who's it? Are Big Ten presidents easy to propagandize? Huh? Take that Columbia degree and use it for toilet paper, friend. You think I'm done? How about Darren Rovell? I know everyone likes to call him Karen Rovell, and that might be appropriate. This is the one that set me off back on August the 11th, the day all this went down. Darren Rovell tweeted, recap of where we are for college football. MAC. Medical people said it's unequivocal. We could not play this fall. Pac-12. Doctors say stop contact and competitive activities at this time. SEC. Doctors say conference continue to go forward at this point. And then he quote tweeted that and said, from the You Can't Make It Up file, the official hotel sponsor of the SEC is Holiday Inn Express. Do you not have this? So basically, Darren Rovell used his Twitter platform, a man who's worked at ESPN's Now at the Action Network, has 2 million followers. He basically pointed the finger at the medical task force in the SEC and the ACC primarily. Dr. Katie O'Neill, who's been on this show, brilliant woman, but because she's from Mamu and got her med degree at LSU, somehow she's inferior to the doctors in the MAC or the Pac-12. You want to talk about how pretentious, how elitist, how disgusting that is? I called his ass out on Twitter Day. And you know what he did? He replied with some BS nonsense about, well, it's all timing and this is changing and now we have testing. You know what, Darren? If you had just fallen in line with what the SEC and the ACC were doing, that's what they've said all along. Greg Sankey has never said we're having a season. He says we're preparing to have a season as you move along. There was no reason to preemptively pull the plug. There was none, as evidenced by the fact that we're playing football right now. The head of the ACC's medical task force is a Duke-educated physician, and Darren Rovell took a dump on that guy because he's below the Mason-Dixon line. I'm sweating again, and I ain't even done. How about maybe the most egregious of the day? Ladies and gentlemen, if I may present Christine Brennan from USA Today. Oh, she's way out there. She has a column today bemoaning the Big Ten's decision to play football. And she wrote, note the date, 9/16/20, the day the vaunted Big Ten became the SEC. It choked, it got scared, it sold its soul for football. My column on the darkest day in Big Ten history. Y'all, let me tell you something. Christine Brennan has the audacity, and yeah, I'm yelling, because I want Christine Brennan to hear me all the way from Baton Rouge, Christine. You have the audacity to use a national platform to say a conference's decision to play football in a climate where the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, UFC, PGA, tennis, Korean baseball, MLS, youth leagues that traction in high school sports all around the country are all playing, and you have the audacity to think that the Big Ten deciding to play football is somehow going to end the world, and this is the, as she put it, darkest day in Big Ten's history. Let me remind you of something, Christine Brennan. Jerry Sandusky was raping little boys. The football staff and administration at Penn State knew about it, covered it up. They're in federal prison now because of it. And you're going to sit here and say the Big Ten's decision to play football is somehow darker than Jerry Sandusky raping children? Do I need to remind you, Christine Brennan, about Larry Nassar? This criminal is sexually molesting gymnasts at Michigan State? And somehow this is a darker day than that? What in the hell is wrong with you? Where is your moral compass? Where's your sensibilities? How in the world have we gotten to this point where there's an editor, probably editors at USA Today, who actually pay that woman to write that? Can you imagine today, if you're a family member of one of Larry Nassar or Jerry Sandusky's victims, and you have to read that from Christine Brennan at USA Today, you wonder why the mainstream medium is hemorrhaging? You wonder why readership's at an all-time low, viewership of the networks keeps plummeting? You want to know why? Because of crap like this, man. That's insane. That is plumb insanity. Plumb insanity. And rational thinking people keep looking at it and saying, you know what, Christine? I'm out, bro. I got options now. I don't have to be force-fed your drivel. So guess what happened today? Guess what happened today? The Hicks won. Can you believe it? Bobby Boucher and Forrest Gump somehow outsmarted the rest of the world. The gatekeepers at all these prestigious universities that have endowments in the tens of billions of dollars, who just have congratulatory parties for being the world's richest people. And somehow the Hicks down south got it right. And all of them today are crawfishing. All of them are throwing out those red herrings. Well, there's no proof it's actually going to work. All of them are trying to distract. They're sitting here, snapping over here to distract from right here where all the chaos is, where they're crawfishing and they can't even believe what's happened today. They went so hard on their stance, congratulating the Big Ten on the right thing to do. And a month later, a month after all of that hullabaloo, here they are, tail between their legs, trying to laud some rapid testing or some bullish like that's actually the reason. The reason is every single right-thinking person in our country pointed their finger at you and said, what in the hell are you doing? Even internally. I'm watching South Alabama play football, but Michigan can't? Yeah. Go ahead and laugh. Think of every movie, every TV show you've ever watched set in the South. Be it Waterboy, Forrest Gump, Pelican Briefs. How many times? Every movie you ever see shot in New Orleans as a jazz band walking down the middle of the street, because that happens all the time, right? Everybody's got the Southern drawl, right? Because it's 1836 around here all the time. They believe that's our reality. And you know what? It's okay. The world knows. We're the head of the class in this one, and get ready. Tee it up and kick it off, because come January, we're going to kick your ass there too. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.